So this one is UVM sequence and this one is UVM driver. UVM sequence, this is the object. UVM driver, this is the component. Okay. So how the transaction happens between them, packet transaction, through the TLM port. In the system Verilog, we have mailbox, while in UVM, we have TLM port. Okay. Transaction level modeling. Okay. Whereas in system Verilog, we have mailbox. Okay, so now this TLM port, it can be used to connect between components only, not the object. But here the other part is our UVM object. So instead of like directly, so here in between them sequencer is used. UVM sequencer, it is a component. So sequencer is used to get the item from the sequence and send it to driver. It is like a handshaking mechanism. Now you see, so in the UVM sequence, what is the process? First, you have to create the item. Then you have to wait for this next item. Okay. So until this next item is called, you cannot go to third step. Like, sorry, it is waiting for grant. So you cannot go to next step. It is the blocking process. Okay. So once driver gives these things, get next item, then it will go here, then wait for, randomize, then it will send request to the driver. Then after driver, here actual the drive task, whatever we are writing in system Verilog, that drive task will be written here. Then it will be sent to duty. After this thing is done, driver will send that, okay, item is done. Remember, this item is done, it is a non-blocking. Like it will not block the next steps, but this get next item, it is the blocking process. Understood?
Okay. Okay.
Now this get next item, it is like no TLM port. Okay, now if you look into the code, this is the simple UVM code. Okay. This code is only coming. Another code. Okay. Till I want to show you what are the steps, actually steps. Standard method. Go to here. Okay, now you see this is the simple UVM sequence code. Okay, so now in the sequence code, so here the request is created. After creating, it is waiting for grant. So whenever from the driver, if I go to driver code, I'm switching from here. Okay, let me write it here only because they are from code to code, it is taking time. So here it is a UVM sequence. Then here it is a UVM driver. So first in UVM sequence, you have to do create item. Create item means You have to declare one object, whatever the object of your UVM sequence item. Then you have to create it using create method. Either you can use create method, or there is one macro tick UVM create. So this create item, you can do in two ways. Either using create method or using UVM macro. This is up to you. We'll see what are the macros available. So after creating the item, next step is a wait for grant.
So this is according to the diagram that you showed, right, Priya?
Yes,
Wait for grant.
What is it?
You showed some chart before, right? Some diagram, some flow.
That one only.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So remember, this is the first step. You have to write it inside the UVM sequence. Okay. And this is the second. You have to wait for grant. Next, what driver will do? Third step. In the third step, driver will send this get next item. So after now here it is waiting for the grant. So when this is the signal, driver is granting. So after this, what it will do? It will randomize. The fourth, you randomize. And fifth, send item. Okay, so now after sending the item, send item, or you can say send requester. Then here what will driver do? In the sixth step, drive the signal to duty. So after this, what it will send? Driver will send one signal that item done. This is optional. Not optional, it is like non-blocking. Okay, even if driver is not sending this signal item done, sequence won't wait. Sequence, once it is sending request, it will move the next steps. It will create the item. Again, it will wait for grant. Let you want to send 300 packet. So first packet, when it will come to wait for grant, it will wait till getting this one, get next item. So when it is getting this one, it will move to this step, this step, this step, all these steps. Again, it will come to 2, and here it will wait. Okay. So item done. So here there is one step, wait for item done. This is non-blocking.
That will be 7, right?
This is 7 and this one will be 8. Okay, and it is as non-blocking, so it will move forward. Okay. Understood? So after this item, yes?
Can you write in brackets if it is non-blocking, or blocking, Priya?
So wait for grant. This is blocking. And wait for item done. One wait is blocking, one wait is non-blocking.
Okay.
Okay.
So here any doubt in this part?
No, Priya.
Okay, so now see here we have UVM sequencer. In between them, for the handshaking purpose, we have UVM sequencer. So now let in UVM sequence, you may have so many packets. You want some arbitration between them. So UVM sequencer have those arbitration. Arbitration means now whatever the items you have created, you want to send them to driver in weight basis. Like some item has more weightage, so they will be generated more times. So arbitration means, for example, inside the sequence item, sequence, I have a sequence item, let for write sequence, read sequence. Now let you want to generate write sequence more, read sequence less. So that arbitration you can control inside the UVM sequencer. Okay, we have that mechanism. Now let you want to send first write sequence, then read sequence in terms of FIFO, first in, first out. That also you can do
Yeah.
here. So in this UVM sequencer,
No need to move, Priya. I mean, because as you type, it will move.
okay, as I'll write, it will move by itself. Okay. So now here, this wait for grant, now here there is UVM sequence. Or I can write sequence arbitration. Arbitration happens here. Okay.
Hmm.
So next, whenever you are sending the request, so this request, it will be like no FIFO basis, first in, first out. You can control it also, but by default, it is FIFO basis. Like whatever the request you are sending first, that request will be sent to driver first. Okay.
I forgot what is the meaning of arbitration.
Arbitration means I told you na, that you have write sequence, read sequence. You want to generate write sequence more, read sequence less, or you want to send read sequence fast, write sequence, then you want to control them. When,
Okay.
how many numbers of sequence will be generated, how many frequency, how many times, when to send them. This is just to when you have 10 or 15, which sequence you want to run first. Okay.
Okay.
So all those
Okay.
things, it is known as your sequence
Basically,
arbitration.
it is a settlement according to the need.
Yes. Okay. So now see, in the whenever you are doing this, all this step you have to write inside UVM sequence, and in UVM, remember this item done and this get next item and this drive signal to duty, this is the user defined. Your drive method will be written here. Here, whatever the drive method or main you are writing inside the UVM, that you have to write here. Drive method, that is user defined. How you want to send the data to duty. This get next item and item done, this is the predefined method. Okay, so now you will see one code. Okay. So here,
So all of these methods that you wrote are we writing them in UVM sequence class, or are those
I
like
told
split
this
in
should
all
be
the other
written inside UVM sequence. This should be written inside UVM driver.
VM driver. Yeah.
Wish we had something like this for system Verilog also.
No, in UVM, sorry, in system Verilog, we have to manually control them. Okay, we have to write for join all those things, but here it is predefined. Now, if you look into this driver code, see, get next item. This is the get next item. Now, before get next item, this is the sequence item port. Remember? Inside. So inside the driver class, we will be writing these things. Sequence item port dot get next item. So what is the meaning of these things? TLM port connection. Okay, so this is TLM port connection. Now, how the TLM port is connected? It is like TLM port name, then dot corresponding function or task name. Okay. And here, see, this sequence item port, this is the predefined. Sequence item port. This is the predefined TLM port. You cannot modify it. Now I will show you another code where this kind of TLM port connection is done. Monitor to scoreboard. Okay, so monitor to scoreboard connection will be done inside the environment. So now see, in the environment class, I have done some connection. Okay. Just one. Now see, here I have called one method, monitor analysis port dot write item. This is the, if you look both the like no syntax wise both look similar. If I'm putting these things here, somehow similar, right? Port name, then dot method name. This
Mhm.
is done inside the driver get item from sequence, and this is done inside the monitor to send item to scoreboard. Then what is the difference between them? This monitor analysis port, this is the user defined. You can change this name. But this sequence item port, this is the predefined. You cannot change the name. Understood?
Okay.
Now, what is this TLM port? How those transactions are done? I'll be explaining in the TLM port part. But here, just remember, this is the port name and this is the method name. Like in the mailbox, what we are doing, mailbox.put, mailbox.get. We are using this syntax. So here similarly, port name dot method name. This write method, it is predefined. Get next item method is also predefined. But whatever the port name in driver, it is predefined. You cannot change it. Other like in the monitor scoreboard, if you are using something, then you can change it. System user defined. Okay. So next you see. So now go to driver class. So sequence item, port get next item. This is the object name, packet name or sequence item name. Now this is the drive method. Okay. This is pre-defined, user defined. Whatever you are doing in system Verilog, same manner you have to do it. Next one is sequence item port item done. See, this is the same port name. Whatever the port name I have given here, same port. Item done means it is saying that item is completed. My work is completed. So understood what are the you have to write. See, you have to mandatory write those things. You cannot miss any step. Let by mistake you are missing this step, then what will happen? Your code will hang. Like in the sequence, you will be waiting, but here there will be no response. So it will keep on waiting. Okay. So understood the driver part code? Any doubt? If you have any doubt, please ask me.
Understood, but not that clearly, Priya.
Okay. What is the doubt? Just let me know. See, in
So you
driver, what will do? What is the driver work? Just think. It will get item or it will get the things from the sequence. Then it will send it to the duty. Then it will send some response back to sequence.
yeah,
So that three things driver is doing.
okay.
And here this is, now you remember in the system Verilog, whenever we are putting something into mailbox, taking something to mailbox, we are using mailbox m1.put or driver to generate to driver dot put, gen to driver dot get. So mailbox name dot method name. Here similarly we have to use port name dot method name. This TLM port name dot method name.
Okay.
Now, whatever the TLM port used in the driver, that is predefined. You cannot use any other port here.
Okay.
You have to use this sequence item port name only.
Sometimes there are diagrams that have that explain the name of, I mean, the port, that will be better for us to
See,
understand.
that port, you just for now remember that this is simply a port, because TLM port, it is a different topic. If I start, this is the TLM. If I start now, see, there is port, export, all those things in TLM thing. So I have to explain all those things. This
I
kind
mean,
of
are you going to explain it? Is it at the after this session?
that
I
will
mean,
take 3-4 section. After only I will explain TLM port.
Okay.
TLM port cannot, like, it is bit. You just think this is like TLM port. Producer, consumer. In this case, consumer is driver, producer is sequence. So this kind of connection, this is port, this is export. Now connection. So the connection, my like syntax is port name dot method name. Just you have to remember that you have to use port name dot method name while you are doing TLM port or using TLM port. Now you just look into this diagram. UVM sequencer driver. This is the port. Now you have to connect them. So how you should connect them? In this manner. Port name dot method name. Okay, so that's only I am doing here. Here, don't like go deeply. What is this port, TLM port? Why we are using TLM port? No, just remember this is the port connection we are doing. So how we can do port connection? Port name dot method name, and here whatever the port is, that is the predefined. Okay. So
Okay.
now we will move to sequence. So in the sequence, what are the things we need to do? Create item. So date item. Next one is wait for grant. Next one is randomize. Then send request. Then wait for item done. So total there are 6 methods. So you can write these 6 methods one by one. Just look into this example. Like this, you can write one by one. First, create method using create method, then wait for grant, then randomize, then send request, then wait for item done. This get response, this is the optional method. Okay, up to wait for item done, you have to do. So like this, step by step, you can write, or there is one macro. That macro name is tick UVM do. So it will do all the 6 methods written above. So tick UVM do. Then let I am writing this request or some object name object one. So what it will do, it will first create the object, then it will wait for grant. After getting signal from driver, it will randomize, it will send request, then it will wait for item done. So either you have to write these 6 methods one by one, or simple you can write tick UVM do.
So tick UVM do is a directive. Tick there.
That is the UVM macro.
Macro.
So now,
Okay.
so see, tick UVM do request. So it will do all the 6 steps. Okay. So understood from, okay, let's check. Normally we use this tick UVM do instead of these 6 steps. So let me check here. Six sequence. Here those 6 steps are not done. Okay. So see, This is one way, and there are several ways where you can do. Now, tqvm do means it will do all the 6 steps. Now see here. Here what I've done, tqvm create, then randomize, then tqvm send. So this tqvm create, it will do the steps up to this. Create item. Instead of create item, you can use tqvm do. Then it will wait for grant. Then manually I have done the randomization.
Can you show the tick UVM do?
This is the tqvm do.
Tick UVM.
I will share the code where I have written all those things step by step, so you can check. So instead of tqvm do, you can do tqvm create. It will create and it will wait for grant. Then you can do randomize. After randomize, tqvm send. So tqvm send, it will do all the next steps. Like it will send the request and it will wait for item done. So this
Why
is
for everything we need to use tick in the front?
See, there are certain methods defined. Here you can see. If you are using tqvm do, this macro, it will do all the 6 steps. Now,
Okay.
what is the use of tqvm create? It will simple create. Instead of create method, you can use tqvm create. Now, next is
Okay.
tqvm send. So what it will do, it will create and randomize. Sorry, create and randomize at skip. Rest all the other steps are done. So you can create by yourself, randomize by yourself. Then next 4 steps. See, create, then randomize. After that, this 2 step. This will be done by tqvm send. Okay. So tqvm send. So these are some like macros used. Instead of manual methods, you can use these macros. Now let you are using this method, tqvm rand send. So it won't create. You have to manually create or you have to use this tqvm create. Then it will randomize and send. Only this create method you have to do. Rest all the methods are executed here. Now let you are using tqvm do with. So it will create with some constraint. Let me check if I have any code. Because I have copy pasted there means here I see. If it is not there, I'll be writing some codes. Sequence macros. So you can go through these codes and you can run this and you can check how they are getting executed. Okay, tomorrow I will be again explaining those things. So now next go to here. So now here see all the 6 steps I have written. Now if I'm running this one. So you can check all the sequence methods are doing same task only. But way of writing is different. It's up to you what method you prefer to write. I guess I have not added the module, so that's why it is not getting executed. Okay, I will add it. Actually, this is the class now, so if you have to add one module here and create the class item there in order to execute. It cannot execute simple class. It need a module to get executed. Okay, now go to here. So here I have simple done tqvm do. It will do same thing as here. Now coming to here see this UVM send, it will simple do the last 2 operations. send request, then wait for item done. So for this create items, I have used one create method. TQVM create. It will do the create and it will wait for grant. Then here I have manually done the randomization. So it is like here 2 operations are done, here 2 operations are done, here 1 operation is done. Now coming to here. So here TQVM create, it will create, then TQVM rand send. So it will randomize and it will send. Like here it will be doing 2 operations, next 4 operations will be done here. Now coming to
Hey,
here.
those things we are writing without a semicolon at the end, Priya.
This is the macro. So semicolon it is not required.
I see.
You see, it is also one macro. So semicolon is not required. Okay. So now here take UBM do with. Do with means you can write one constant. So here I have written one constant like my input one should be greater than 10. So take UBM do means it will simple randomize and send. But if you are writing take UBM do with, then it will randomize with some constant. Then TQBM rand send with, it will also randomize. See, with means there should be some constant. Wherever with is used, some constant is used. These things is not required up to this. Okay, so here the main thing is you have to remember what are the steps we need to write inside the UVM sequence. You have, see, while writing the code, you can simply write with TQBM do. But internally, what are the steps performed, you should know. Like due to some reason, your code is hanging. So you should know that if this wait for grant is done here inside the driver, that step is not done, then your code may hang. So you should have idea all these things. Okay.
Okay.
And these things, just 2 or 3, just overally look into what are the methods are available. Mostly we'll be using this TQBM do or TQBM do with. So now inside the sequence also, we can add some controlling mechanism. Like see, here I told you, one write sequence and read sequence. So this is like I have one sequence. Inside that sequence, I'm writing write sequence and read sequence. Like inside one sequence, I'm writing another sequence. So how to write them and how to get executed them. Sequence within another sequence. We will see it tomorrow.
Okay.
And the sequencer arbitration. Okay. So here I wanted to. So this is see, you can download this code also. It is free source code available. Now see, this is the source code for UVM sequencer. Now this get next item. So inside the driver, whatever the get next item method, that is you defined inside this UVM sequencer. This get next item. And another is you can check whatever the methods we are using inside the driver that will be used defined inside the UVM sequencer. Sequence, not sequence item. Okay, we'll see more about this tomorrow, or you can check by yourself also. You can download and check. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will see in the next class. Huh?
Thank you, Priya.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks, Priya.
Bye.